Good morning. Welcome to the Premium Public Video Forecast discussion for Friday, October 18th, 2024. And this is probably going to be one of my shortest videos because there's simply not much going on. Most of the activity is actually down in the tropics. We have one disturbed area here and one disturbed area here. Both of them are going to be interacting with this trough here that is driving cool, dry air into the Gulf of Mexico, shutting down the Gulf of Mexico and the Western Atlantic, especially around the Bahamas. This feature, which was really played up a lot as being something that could be possibly developing, has lost its low level circulation, plenty of convection. If it's going to develop, it's going to have to do so in the next 24 hours before running into all this shear that is starting to drift its way. And right now, there's about a 10% chance that this could develop. Right now, I'm not expecting much out of this at all. Meanwhile, our next tropical wave, which has been a broad area low pressure, has been developing off the Central American coast, is starting to produce plenty of convection. Now, a lot of this development is due to the interaction of this upper level trough, but it does have a chance, about 50% chance, of forming a tropical depression, maybe even a tropical storm, before it moves into the Central American coast and into the Yucatan Peninsula, basically right around Belize and the Mexican coast here in the next 24 hours. So by tomorrow at this time, this feature will be pushing into the Mexican coast and will no longer be a threat. So possibly in about 24 to 36 hours, we'll have no disturbance at all in the Atlantic being a threat, no disturbed areas. That's where we could be in about 24 to 36 hours, which is great news as we look at the model guidance here. We got these two features. Now, remember, in this is green and this is green. What does that stand for? 1,000 to 1,010 millibars or kilopascals. When you see this, this basically is tropical depression or weaker. There are no hurricanes here on this map. None. So, it's going to get pretty quiet. Why do I know that? Well, for one, look at Africa. Africa has barely any type of low pressure system coming off the coast over the next 10 days. So from now through October 28th, no significant tropical waves are expected coming off the African coast. So if you don't have tropical waves coming off the African coast, you're not going to have much in the way of development. And these two features basically play out over the next 24 hours, and that's it. The East Coast is quiet as can be. So that's some great news. No major storms, no hurricanes, no named storms for the next 10 days, which also kind of puts a little bit of an issue for my long range forecast for the tropical forecast where I was going with 20, but at least I wasn't going for 32. The Atlantic hurricane forecast basically is a dumpster fire, but in a good way, because at the very least we didn't have as many storms as what I was expecting. We still got to get through November. Again, the end of the hurricane season is November 30th, so we'll be keeping an eye on the tropics as we go forward. But as you can see with the forcing here, we could see a little bit more enhancement of forcing around the Caribbean, but really a lot of your tropical waves coming off the African coast are pretty much dead. A lot of development around the Gulf of Mexico is suppressed. So what this tells me is that, hey, you could also have a lot of forcing over the Western Atlantic via extratropical low pressure systems. So this doesn't necessarily mean tropical development, but it certainly isn't supportive of any type of widespread tropical development. So that is certainly a theme that we're going to be watching. Meanwhile, if you're looking for a change in our weather pattern to wetter weather, well, unfortunately, let's take a look at a 46-day forecast. And let's see, the Arctic Oscillation, pretty much neutral. EPO, wavering from positive to negative. You could almost call it an average of neutral. No real strong signal showing up here outside of what's going on right now. North Atlantic Oscillation, trending negative neutral after a strong period of positive conditions. So as we move through November, we start seeing this change more towards a neutral state. So when I see this data, even the PNA, generally negative, but trending more towards neutral, what this tells me is that we'll see a gradual change from a dry, warm pattern to one that's a little bit more active. No huge blocking regimes, no huge storm development, but just a gradual shift from very dry, benign weather pattern to one with a little bit more activity, but rather progressive. And that's essentially what we're seeing here in the latest 45-day forecast here. Now, again, you never take this stuff verbatim, but as you can see right now, you have your positive Arctic oscillation here. You have a nice robust ridge, a nice trough over the western United States. Here's the theme as we move through. And again, I'm finishing up the winter forecast today for premium members. I possibly could have the discussion out in the premium section this afternoon, and then we'll launch it publicly for everyone on Monday. But what we have here is a setup where you have a trough in the west, and that's driven by the placement of your ridge here over the northern Pacific. La Ninas typically feature a ridge in the Gulf of Alaska. The question is whether this ridge sets up in the Gulf of Alaska and along the west coast here, which then drives a deep, broad trough over the eastern 2/3 of the United States, or if this ridge kind of sets up around the Aleutians like this, and then you get this trough over much of the west coast, a broad broad trough over the west coast, and a broad ridge over the east coast. This is a very warm pattern. That shift to the east would be a chilly weather pattern, and of course, the source region matters in this situation. Source region is coming in from the Pacific. If the ridge is building more into the Gulf of Alaska, source region is basically the Arctic Circle. Now, as we move forward, our pattern begins to change a bit, and it's driven by what's happening in the Pacific. Okay? You start to get more of a trough around the Aleutians. There's your ridge in the Gulf of Alaska. What does that open up by the middle of November? More of a trough over the east, somewhat of a negative NAO signal here showing up. So this could increase the potential for more rainfall. And so that's why we're seeing in the guidance here a shift from well below normal to near normal temperatures and well below normal rainfall to near normal, maybe even some periods of slightly above normal rainfall. Now, November is not going to be enough to end the drought, but at the very least, is going to kind of blunt it. So, if you're looking for rainfall, I'm thinking mid November. But in the meantime, well, it is as quiet as it could possibly be. Take a look at the current conditions. We have high pressure and control. Winds are coming in from the north. We have temperatures rather chilly, upper 20s to lower 30s in your higher elevations, mid to upper 30s in your northern interior, upper 30s to mid 40s in your suburbs, upper 40s to lower 50s in your urban areas, with plenty of clear skies. On the radar and surface map, there's nothing going on. This is high pressure. I'm trying to kind of extend this video to be more than, you know, 10 minutes because there just simply isn't anything going on. And why is that the case? Well, this setup here. Again, there's our broad trough over the Rockies. As a result, there is our huge ridge in the polar jet stream. This is a subtropical jet stream. You got a nice little upper level low within the subtropical jet stream, interacting with the polar jet stream. With this ridge axis here over the Great Lakes, eastern Great Lakes, and this upper level low over the, well, basically the Gulf Stream, this is going to set up an environment where you have strong convergence and confluence over the northern mid-Atlantic and New England. This is a signal, ladies and gentlemen, of plenty of clear skies as the air is sinking, and as a result, not even cloud cover can develop. And this ridge basically remains in control for several days. So you can see the substance here that I was talking about. That's dry sinking air. There's our upper level low exiting, our ridge taking control. And again, on the infrared satellite picture, not a cloud in the sky along the East Coast. It's as beautiful as it could possibly be. And that extends all the way back to about the northern plains and parts of the Rockies. And so when we take a look at our model guidance, let's go to 500 millibars, just a ridge all the way through the next 90 hours. Want to go further? Okay. How about through the next 120 hours? That's basically 5 days, all the way through Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, we get a little weak trough moving through. Again, not a lot of lifting here, so just a few scattered showers. And then on Thursday, we get a more zonal pattern. And so what that basically means is that our air masses are either going to be a modified polar air mass that is starting to exit now, which is why it's been chilly, and followed by that, Pacific air masses, which is generally mild for this time of year. Nothing well above normal, but certainly more in the 60s, 70s range. You might spark an 80-degree temperature here and there if you get enough sinking air coming off the Appalachian Mountains, but that is about it. Very quiet weather indeed. Let's take a look at precipitable water values. Not a lot. There just isn't a lot of moisture in the atmosphere at all. So even if you get a passing cold front like what you have on Wednesday into early Thursday morning, basically this only produces a tenth of an inch of rain at most. So again, I don't see any major rainfall events at all. And even after that cold front, a lot of dry air in place. As far as our 850 millibar temperatures, there goes our polar air mass, disappears. We get a little bit of a respite from the frosty conditions in the morning, outside of some higher elevations and some valleys in the northern interior. Other than that, we got Pacific air mass in place. Very nice conditions. Here comes our cold front Wednesday into Thursday. But again, the bulk of the polar air masses are all locked up in Canada because of the nature of our 500 millibar pattern. We'll discuss this more next week, especially in the live chat, when we go over our winter forecast. Now, with that, there you go. Just a Pacific air mass in place, not much going on. So let's march through this forecast for today. High pressure and control, beautiful weather conditions, high temperatures in the lower to mid 60s over the northern interior, mid to upper 60s along the coast. For tonight into tomorrow, look for clear skies, light winds, lows in the upper 30s to lower 40s over the northern interior, lower to mid 40s along the coast. For tomorrow afternoon, beautiful conditions, highs in the mid to upper 60s over the interior along the coast, upper 60s to lower 70s in the Delaware River Valley. On Sunday, pleasant weather conditions continue. Look for low temperatures in the lower to mid 40s over the northern interior, mid to upper 40s in your suburbs, upper 40s to lower 50s in your urban areas. Look for high temperatures to range from the upper 60s to lower 70s over the northern interior and along the coast, lower to mid 70s in the Delaware River Valley. On Monday, Tuesday, high pressure and control, tranquil conditions. Look for low temperatures ranging from the lower to mid 40s over the northern interior, upper 40s to lower 50s in your suburbs, lower to mid 50s in your urban areas. High temperatures will range from the lower to mid 70s over the northern interior, mid to upper 70s along the coast. Let's check out Wednesday. Wednesday, our cold front approaches. Look for increasing cloud cover, but still generally dry. Look for low temperatures in the lower to mid 50s. High temperatures will range from the upper 60s to lower 70s over the northern interior, lower to mid 70s over the interior, upper 60s to lower 70s along the coast, lower to mid 70s over the interior, mid to upper 70s in the Delaware River Valley. Apologize. And then on Thursday, our cold front moves through Wednesday night into Thursday morning with scattered showers. Look for low temperatures on Thursday morning, ranging from the lower to mid 40s over the northern interior, upper 40s to lower 50s in your suburbs, lower to mid 50s along the coast. High temperatures on Thursday afternoon as the sky is clear will range from the lower to mid 50s over the northern interior, mid to upper 50s in the New York City metro, upper 50s to lower 60s in the Philadelphia metro. And on Friday, next Friday, high pressure and control, clear skies, a bit chilly, but not too bad for this time of year. Look for lows in the mid to upper 30s over the northern interior, upper 30s to lower 40s in your suburbs, lower to mid 40s in your urban areas, and high temperatures ranging from the lower to mid 50s over the northern interior, mid to upper 50s along the coast, and upper 50s to lower 60s in the Delaware River Valley. That is your forecast discussion for today. Have a wonderful weekend, and as always, stay safe out there.